Billy, welcome. Oh, damn. Good morning to you, Billy. Well, without further ado, I'll probably start on this thing. I'll just let people funnel in as they do, if they do. We got an ash mallet to make. Here's a nice piece of 1x3 ash that I've held for a while. I'm gonna cut this thing off right here with the bandsaw. I've got my handle laid out on there. I'm gonna make one more mallet out of 100% ash here. A little worried about my internet connection because it's a little slow for people to file in. Let me open up the garage door. That might help. Hold on one second, Billy. Hey, all right. So don't want to be running the AC open garage doors. I had to shut that off too. Let's go ahead and get to it, man. Here's 2 mallets for the giveaway. One thing I want to revise from yesterday is you do not have to make a comment as per YouTube's terms and conditions, community guidelines. But if you're not a public subscriber, I otherwise wouldn't know. I probably have to have Heather take a screenshot of the subscribers so I knew who subscribed today, etc. Ruiz, what's up, man? Shout out Ruiz, newest member. I want to try to save these slats from the sides because I might be able to do something with them if I can keep them intact, but it's going to be tricky with this band, so I'm going to have to cut real straight. Hold on. Let's go back a second. Some fan bam love. Y'all popping, but still working. Of course, Ruiz, understand that. But witnesses do, though. I don't understand that part of it, Ruiz. Where did that come from? Oh, okay. It must have been someone here. I didn't see that. See, Ruiz got our security better under control than I do. Terrible. Come on now. Show up to the dad's workshop. This is dad's workshop. I'm dad's workshop. Calvin, hold on one second. Shut up, bandsaw. Shut up. Um, shut up, you. Talking to the bandsaw, not y'all. Talk you. Um, so we got two mallets here. We're gonna give these away. Got to make sure you're a public subscriber, okay? Public subscriber. I got to know that you're a subscriber. You do not have to leave a comment. I read the YouTube community guidelines. They do not allow creators to ask people to make comments in order to do giveaways. Now that makes it tricky because I don't know. I'm gonna have to just take all the subs and run all the subs through a random like generator. Wow, it's really low numbers this morning. It's not supposed to be this bad, but we'll keep it going. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna make this mallet, and so make sure that you're a public subscriber. I know you're a subscriber. I'm making an extra mallet because BW Wood Turning, is it BW? BW Wood Turning out in Denmark wants to trade me some salt shakers for a mallet. So I know he does a very good job turning wood. He's a very good turner, has a great channel, BW Woodwork. So I'm going to make him a mallet to trade for some salt shakers also. I probably should prioritize my members first, though. So I'm going to allow my member who gets drawn first to pick which mallet they want. And then BW will have his choice between the other two. And then I'll do one for subscribers. Seems fair, right? Yep. Seems fair. Oh, no. Nah. Yeah, we don't roll like that here. We're gonna run the AC if it's over 80 degrees, probably. I'm just thinking like those two pieces that came off that, the waste pieces, would actually not make a bad handle themselves. You could actually make a fresh new handle because both those two sides are joinable. See, they're flat. So you could join these two easily and get maybe another handle out of this. Always trying to make the most of what you got, you know. All right. Now we got our handle stock here. Well, we could probably put it in this vise and maybe trim it up. But let me cut the other pieces out first. Looks frozen. Let me check. Make sure I'm not. All right, so I guess we're not frozen. That's good. All right, two mallet heads that are approximately the size of these. I'm gonna trim them a bit. But the first thing I want to do is I want to get this laid out on it. I think probably, let's find a, on this handle, we want to lay this line out just right here. What do I do with my pencil? Oh, there we go. We need a good old fashioned ruler. Welcome to Dad's Workshop. I'm Dad's Workshop Calvin. Right now we are working on a ash mallet. And I think on these, I think the mallet handle there should be like just a little bit of tail going through the top. Maybe that's how I should lay it out, like put it on here. But first, let's do this. Let's measure. If it's got to be right here, see how much that is. Use metric. Never mind, let's not. That's a quarter of an inch. We're gonna do a quarter of an inch gap on the top. Oh, let me move the camera. I can't even see the bandsaw, can I? Raja, welcome. Thank you for being here. Quarter inch. Thursday morning. Thursday morning. It's supposed to be a good time slot. You never know with YouTube. I could clean that line up probably. That's a straight edge. So there's no excuse for a bad line like that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Dad's Workshop. I'm Dad's Workshop Calvin. Right now we are working on an ash mallet. Whoops, there goes my. I should probably put those on to be honest. Raja, thank you. Appreciate you being here. Raja has a great channel. He's a turner. Got a lot of respect for the turners. And I love pencils. That one's bad. There we go. That's a good gap to go through the top. I might trim these down so they're not so tall. They need to have some angle to them. Nice to start with some nice square dimensional lumber. My other ones were made with non-dimensional lumber, if you know anything about that. That means I had to work around the imperfections of the edge. This seems right. I'm eyeballing this right now, but it seems right. I'm actually gonna put a little letter here so I know which piece goes with which side, because they may not turn out exactly the same then. So I cut these by hand. That's not good. Now the question is, how deep do I want to put it in to the handle? How much mortise do I want to cut? And I don't want to cut a lot, to be honest with you, but I have to have these two sides of the handle have to match. So what you have to do is divide the handle width into two. The handle width is like, this is like 7/8 of an inch. It's a tricky width, not quite an inch, right? It's like 15/16. So 7.5/16. You got to break it all the way down. You got 15/16. So yeah, center point's going to be in a funky spot. But this is how we do this, man. This might be the way to do this. Take this little thingy-majiggy. Hopefully it'll clamp onto there. Well, it doesn't. But this tool here, you can use to find the center point of a longer piece. It's not going to work on that, unfortunately. It's going to be 7.5/16. Tricky place to put it. Let's see here. So what I'm going to do, handle doesn't get cut. It's on the mortises. That's 8. It's going to be right here. That looks about right. Now, if I had a scoring tool like one of those round ones, that would be ideal for this. But sometimes you have to work with what you got. And y'all can see. Well, let me zoom in since I don't have that many people anyways. I can do a lot of zooms. You see that dovetailish shape there? That's going to house that mallet handle. What we want it to do is fit tight even before we put glue on there. That's the idea here. We want it to fit tight before we even put glue on there. And y'all can see that there, right? So that is 7/16, 7.5/16. So that's what I got this tool set to right now. That's how much material needs to be removed from these mallet head, from the mallet head assembly. Like I said, this normally this kind of work is done with a knife, but I am going to have to get said knife. I might have to ask Mike for a knife. Make me a knife out of a circular saw. knife is going to give you more accurate marks. I got to stay short of all of these lines to make sure that I'm in the ballpark and I don't over cut too much out. All right, now we have this piece laid out, and this is where this stuff is going to go. I'm going to close my mouth for a little bit because I know some of y'all are here to relax. All that comes out. Just double checking my layout marks and making sure they're good here. Oh, Wes, welcome, Wes. Or I could rewatch Mike's video and take the time, I guess, and build one. Get my angle grinder out, get one of those old circular uh, saw blades I got, and put in the elbow grease to make my own. But $4, wow, that is definitely cheap. Wes said Amazon has them for $4. Well, then in that case, I don't know if it does make sense for you to make it at that price point. Even the cheap mallets, if you get a woodworking mallet online, even the cheap ones made like in factories in China and stuff are at least $20. So woodworking mallet, if you're really tight on funds, is definitely something you should make. Plus, you can always be proud of your mallet that you built your mallet to build your other projects. You know, you run that down that side again. That doesn't feel super accurate to me. Just gonna check my lines around because sometimes with the chiseling, you definitely can get into hot water with lines that are not straight. So just make sure these are straight against the layout face or um, with respect to the layout face. That looks good. All right, folks. Then we scribble, scribble, scribble. Scribble, 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 scribble. Yay, right? Let's do one more thing. You notice my mallets all have a slight angle here, maybe just over 90 degrees. You want to have a little angle to your mallets. So let's put some angle on these. We got to make sure it's in the correct direction. This is the top, right? So it needs to come down from there. And I don't want to take too much material off because that's all strength. Let's get the protractor out. I'm going to set it for 95 or 85 degrees, depending on how you look at it. I guess it was 105. It's 105 or 85, right? I mean, it depends on which direction you're looking at it from. 85 is kind of the way I do the dovetailed um, handle mortise, You may be better off not cutting this until you actually finish the mallet, though. That seems a bit strong. That looks strong for an angle to y'all. A little bit strong. First of all, it's wrong because that's the top. That's the top. See, this is ADHD in progress here. It's the other way. Big eraser for big mistakes. All right, let's lay those marks out the right way. Good thing we got a nice straight reference face here. That's going to help us because these sides aren't cut exactly straight with the bandsaw. It's pretty close to the angle of my other ones. I'm going to hold off on doing that right now. I will make the layout marks though. I'm laying out an angle for the mallet head because they really need, I'm always told they need to have some angle to them. Okay, that's what I'm told. $8 now. Yeah, I mean, that seems a fair price, right? All of this too is going to be scrapped too. All of this is going to come off, but I'm going to wait to take that off a bit. I'm going to do some different process with the steps. Let's go ahead and saw this waist with the razor saw here. I think I did them with the bandsaw last time and regretted it. I'm just going to take that razor saw right across the top here. Start with those perimeter cuts, right? All right. Yeah, that's around what seems like a good angle for these. Just a slight dovetail, a slight fluting. shy that line a little bit. I mean, not too shy, but you want to be where you can you don't want to cut down into that line, that's for sure. There's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can route this too. We're not going to get the routing sled out though, and stuff like that. Um, we're going to do it with hand tools here for the most part. All right, we'll go ahead and do the next one. I like to do that first, you know, get the kind of annoying stuff done, like the sawing multiple lines. Really, probably need a new razor saw too. Um, I've hit this thing against a bunch of stuff too, so it's probably not the sharpest. Got that line right now. I just gotta stay there. There's one guy who comes in the chat and he always tells me to bend the saw blade to do curves. I'm like, man, you're on another level, man. I don't know. Bending the saw blade. Scoo-Dooby. Welcome, Scoo-Dooby, to Dad's Workshop. I'm Dad's Workshop Calvin. Scoo-Dooby's in the house. Everybody give Scoo-Dooby some positivity. Appreciate you, Scoo-Dooby. Man, those edges are sharp. You trying to brush it off. Scoo-Dooby, we're doing a Mallet giveaway to subscribers, so definitely subscribe to the channel. Make your subscriptions public, so I know. I'll see Scoo-Dooby in my subscriber list, and then you'll be entered like that. You lighten that hand grip up a little bit. Sometimes you can get it down to that little soft spot. Yeah, please do tap that like button. Appreciate everybody. Everybody who's here. I'm Dad's Workshop Calvin. Right now we're working on a mallet made out of ash. Same material Louisville Slugger is made out of. You may be familiar with those. Whoops. Luckily, this ash is mostly free of any kind of defects. It's just very, very hard. So, you know, I don't have to worry about defects. I do probably need to give my chisels a little sharpening little polishing just to make sure they're ready to go on this stuff. So let's go around this and maybe make one. I'm gonna make one more cut here, just cause these cuts aren't really put in a particular place. They're in there to help you remove material. You know, this is just a technique to removing material without having to do heavy chiseling. You know, the chisel works less when you got these cuts put in there. All right. Now you see I got my pieces here, somewhat laid out. They are not matching exactly how I would want them to on that side, but we can work that a bit. It's kind of like my way is not getting stuff all the way right the first time. Yeah, not super into that concept. Looks like one is offline with the other. Probably be better to actually line them up and then just shave off excess off the edge with the bandsaw. But let's do this. I'm going to stop talking for a little bit and chisel some stop cuts in here. But first, let me tell you, this is Dad's Workshop, and my name is Calvin. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to take a little sip of my drink, and I will be right back. Welcome back to Dad's Workshop. Oh man, it's super tough. Super tough. We'll see how my chisels do without being sharpened. I think I sharpened a couple of them yesterday. I try to like alternatively sharpen them, so I always have like a couple super sharp ones. But let's do this. Let's put the polishing stone up here for a second and just do a couple passes. Just make sure we're real sharp so we don't have to work extra hard like what Wes is talking about. Oh, I found those big dowels. That's good. Been looking for those. There's my stropping leather. Oh, it would be nice to inlay some walnut in there, wouldn't it? Got this thin stock of walnut. That would be really nice in there. Like one little strip in there. Looking for my stropping strap. My stropping strap. Oh well. We'll just use a cloth. I love this chisel. And I got the right stone here. Okay, make sure I got the polishing stone out. Let's see how this one feels. That's pretty sharp. Oh yeah, I think that's gonna do. You know, I don't use oil anymore, Wes, because I was using grapeseed oil, man, and it like turned rancid in my stones, man. It clogged all the pores of my stones up. So I had to go with basically paint thinner and mineral spirits and dress the stones until the stuff came out of them. I had to get through like a millimeter of stone. So not recommending oil to anyone anymore. Uh, Water or some sort of surfactant like mineral spirits, denatured alcohol, something like that. There's a way to do it with oil, but don't use grapeseed. I can tell you that for sure. All the grit, all the grit came out of my stones when I did that. Yep. There is something to machine sharpening your tools though, because your sharp edge is straight. You know, it's very hard to get a straight edge. You'll get a sharp edge, but it might not necessarily be straight. So, what I'm gonna do is set my uh, what you call it, the belt sander up with a disc, and just angle my chisel on there and get my blade straight again, and then polish. Do all that process over. Start with the lowest grit. For some of them, my blades are perfect. Some not. Like my work, you know. Just like my work. Robert, welcome, man. Robert G, friend of the program. Want to shout out Wes Does It, and Ruiz was up in here earlier. Also Billy. Also new friend Scoo Doobie. Welcome, all of you folks. Hopefully you're all still in here. Whoa, look at me dropping stuff. Um, these are the two mallets I finished in the last couple of days. This one's actually not finished because I haven't put any tongue oil on it. This is the one with the dowels. I wanted to make one more in case people don't like the dowels. I'll keep that if no one likes it. Yeah, it's like shop class with an unqualified teacher. You know, you always your own worst critic. I know what I'm doing here, man. You know, but there are guys that started 2, 3 years ago that are better than me at it because of the dedication they put in, and that's something I'm realizing over time is the amount of time doesn't matter. It's how much quality time you put into the technique. And I see people all the time who are better woodworkers than me, and I'll admit it. Um, and the reason has to do with learning the right technique from the right people. And some of that is money. Like some of that is like money and connections. I can tell you one thing. Someone was talking about how much can I make being a master cabinet maker. Well, I mean, there are a couple master cabinet makers in the United States who make quite a pretty penny. I mean, I'm sure they're out in LA making custom cabinets, but in general, you get $100,000 worth of equipment, make $30,000 a year. It's tough. It's tough, folks. Let me get back to the bottom of the chat. Framers make a lot of money, construction workers and stuff. It's a labor of love to do fine woodworking for an actual living, you know. One of the top YouTubers, the studio out in Australia. I mean, the table he made was insane. I think he got paid 40,000 Australian for that, and like what that takes you 6 months, and you make 40K, and you're like the top guy in your field. It's not gonna do it anymore. Not in this world where you got to make life decisions at the gas pump. It's a little too deep there, man. I have to try to, I'm not going to keep making the line too deep there. All right, so stop cut done there. Uh-oh. Pencil. Since we don't have that many in here, I don't mind. Like I try to do experimental stuff here. I'm gonna lean this forward, and y'all can see. A lot of y'all know what a stop cut is, but if those of you don't, it's a way that you prevent that amateur stuff from happening to you. Like the worst amateur mistakes are, blow out and tear out and stuff. If you can prevent that with proper prior planning, then that best way to do it is do that. So go through and make a stop cut pretty much every direction. See, it's already coming out. I'm not going to worry about that, but that's not the stated intention here, right? Oh, Wes, I appreciate that, man. Wes says he learns tons here. I learn on your page, on your channel too, Wes. You teach me all kinds of stuff. Jack of all trades, man. We're gonna take this thing, put it in here, and start to remove this waste. Hopefully, y'all are still on camera. If you're not, I'll adjust it. This is a little tricky because I don't want to hit my chisel against the vise. I'm not worried about the vise so much, but I am worried about the sharpness of my chisels and having to re-edge my chisels basically. Also, it helps to have this thing somewhat level because you want to have a reference point, a level. So we could probably put a level on it. I don't know if I have one real handy here, a small one. Probably need a small level too. That wouldn't hurt. We're gonna start with the small end going out toward the big end. So let's flip this around real quick. If you're using a bandsaw, use the small end as a reference. If you cut from the big end, you can imagine what might happen. You're gonna cut. You're gonna get rid of your whole dovetail there, and you don't want that to happen. He alright. That's what Heather said. He alright. He ain't all of that. That's what Miss Heather said. What my football coach used to say. Y'all not all that. Y'all think y'all all that, but y'all not all that. Man, my football coaches were the meanest football coaches in the United States of America. Gambling on the games. Shout out Butch wherever you're at, and Mike, the my coaches. I think one of them died maybe though. I'm actually going to go from the other side now. You see there's a little space above that line. That's because we want to leave a little bit of leeway. What's up, Mike? Is making stuff. Making a ash wood mallet here. My thing must be leaning forward. Yeah. Very hard wood. See, stop cuts and those guide cuts really help. Really prevent a lot of potential mistakes that would blow your whole, make you have to blow your whole project, make you have to start something over again. You don't want to do that. I probably wouldn't do it this way if I didn't have a piece that's coming out to lean against, because if I do that against this, it's going to bend this edge down, right? We want a clean edge. Some guys will put a piece of wood in to lean it back like this. That back edge on your chisel is useful, though. If you sharpen it, you might as well use it. Pelado. Welcome. Just saying it how he said to say it, phonetically. Don't chisel towards yourself. Do as I say, not as I do. I should just flip the piece around. That's the way we do this. Do it the right way. Making mallets, making mallets. Yeah, I want to make a third mallet for the mallet giveaway so that first of all, BW Wood Turning wants to do a trade for a mallet for some salt shakers. So I'll make that trade, but what I'm going to do is allow my members to pick the mallet, the member that gets drawn to pick the mallet they want first, just to prioritize my members. The member that is drawn for the mallet picks the mallet they want. And then the subscriber, then I'm going to let BW Wood Turning pick which one he wants, if he wants one of the two remaining. And then subscribers. Hopefully, I like to think I took time on all three mallets, so I don't have a problem with any of them. I would take any of them. But actually, as constituted, I think both the ones I made with this batch turned out better than the mallets I used. Maybe not my big one. I like that mallet a lot. What's going on here? What did Mike say here? Oh, he's talking to Pilato. Okay, all right. All right, I'll let y'all have that conversation. It's actually coming out real clean. I don't want to mess it up. Notice this time I'm pushing the chisel, not leaning it against the other side of the mortise, so I don't bend that side down. I want that crisp edge. Need to get this little thing out of my way here. There is like a little knot in there. Can't see it from the outside. That's why it doesn't want to. This chisel's sharp, so it's cutting through stuff quick. It's the only stubborn part right here. Wow, did it zoom in that much? Hold on 1 second, y'all. What the heck happened? What happened? Did it do what Kayla was talking about? Let's go back. Yeah, that is weird. So I backed it way up, but it's still pretty close. But it's actually workable here if it can stay there. There we go. This is gonna be a good ash mallet, y'all. Had to say it. Had to say it. I agree, Mike. Gotta be grateful. Gotta show gratitude. I always am complaining. I'm a complainer. You know, I have this thing called peripheral neuropathy. I have like no feeling in my knee from like my knee to my thigh, man, and it's very, very disturbing to me because like my son will put his hand against my leg and I have to see him doing it. I can't feel it. Not too much. A lot of thoughts. Robert G. People giving their well wishes to Pelato and his wife. She's about to have some medical, severe, really important medical stuff done. Uh, so that's what they're talking about now. And then I completely forgot what I was talking about just a second ago. Oh yeah, neuropathy. So it worries me, man. But then I think about like, oh boy, uh, you know, that was in your live stream the other day, and how he was here today, and then got on a boat with his wife, and gone tomorrow. It can really, and he was 100% healthy, far as I know. Um, Very fragile, this life, man. Every day is a gift. I know a lot of us know that. That's why we try to take advantage of our time so much. We're like, what can I do today to advance this thing, this movement, this thing I'm trying to do? Now we all, of course, need money, but more than that, it's like the thing you need to do that day to advance what you're doing in the world. You know, I did get to a point with teaching that I feel like I've done a ton of public service. I don't mind doing service. Acts of service is kind of like my love language. If y'all are into that kind of thing, um, I like to help folks. That's really clean, actually, guys. I don't even want to mess with that too much. It's right at the line. I can't see it on your side. Well, I guess I can in the camera. Yeah, not so clean from that side, but it's not bad. About to be full moon in a couple days. I do my best work after the full moon. Something I noticed. I'm low energy at the full moon. Pay attention to the moon cycle. I think people don't notice how much it affects their movements. Probably more so than the day. 2020, just like the year. See it up at the top. Double tap that screen. That is not bad. Here's my little handle. Look at that, dude. Oh, y'all can't see that because the screen's all zoomed in. I'm gonna flip it. Watch. Flip. Hello. See if it goes back to regular now. Nope. Looks like it's not. All right. So y'all can't see this well, but here's the dovetail with the mallet on the first one. See how that fits pretty well there, right? Pretty good fit. Does look like there maybe needs to be some adjustments to get this one, because they also got to meet each other in the middle here, right? That's why we did those calculations. Which y'all can see right there. Good fit between the handle and the mallet head, right? She does. She kills with those jump cuts, man. Miss Pilato does know how to make a video if you're a connoisseur. Though her last shorts, you know, jump on them last shorts. They're like musical. They're different than her last one. I watched them this morning. It's tight right there. Yeah, she has a channel. I personally, if I'm rating her videos, I like those first couple videos best. Um, Felt like those were really creative, and she has the talent, obviously. And bless her heart, you know, like I really hope she does like the medical thing. That's more important than the video quality. I'm sitting here talking about how nice her videos are, but more important that she gets the care she needs and gets better, obviously. Bye bye, Mallet. Don't fall. When you find out you cut a little shallow with your saw when you were making your initial cuts, it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt because you're taking a lot more material out with the chisel. But it's better than cutting too deep and then you mess your whole piece up. I will say this real quick because I have to say it. I just cannot help myself. Um, that the dearly departed like gentleman who passed away, Mr. Bradley or Randy, um, he was a huge um, BV fan, right? And called himself part of the BV family. That's what he would refer to himself as. And I didn't see one post from BV about him. not an in memoriam. Not this guy was a great fan of mine and died tragically. Can you jump on his GoFundMe and throw his family some money? As much money as he made for that dude. That shows y'all right there, man. Judged by a person's actions, man, not what they say. How do they act? Like he wasn't like nothing. It was nothing. I didn't see nothing. Went through all the posts. Didn't see nothing about it. Oh, he did. Okay. Didn't see that, Robert G. Take it back. That's good. I hope he did that then. Whatever. Not the biggest fan. I'm not gonna say his name, Robert G. I know you like the guy, and I know there's other folks in here who do. I'm not gonna say his name for clicks. That's not my thing. That's what I was accused of. So I'm not gonna do that. Just dude was rude to me, so I just expressed my feelings, and it didn't go well for me. So I will not express my feelings and say names anymore. But life is like high school, man. Ridiculous. Yeah. I'm gonna tell y'all what I did though, just in case you're still there, Robert G. I'm gonna say what I did so y'all understand I didn't just pick a person not to like. Okay, that wasn't my intention. I went on this individual's live stream and had positive comments for him, positive feedback about his videos, about his live stream, and apparently the gentleman, I shouldn't even call him that, but I'll call him a gentleman and a scholar for now. Um, the gentleman didn't appreciate the positive things I was saying, or took them the wrong way, or maybe he didn't care. He had popped in my chat on one of my live streams before that, so I popped into his. That's how I ended up going there. And I was like, yeah, man, the chat is chill, and the live stream is really cool, man. And then he commenced like 10 minutes basically of telling me why I'll never make it, and how it's not for everybody, buddy. That's what I got. Okay. So he didn't give me the "hey brother from another mother" that I've seen him say to some of y'all. He didn't do that. He doesn't do that to me. He's rude AF to me. And I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man. That's y'all know this is what I'm gonna do. If you're gonna not like me for me, then you shouldn't be a subscriber, and that's fine. You got it. You have to like sieve out the wrong folks, anyways. I don't think we really have a similar YouTube strategy. Maybe at first when he was doing hand stuff, but now he's made it. He's 3,000 times the size of my channel. Um, but at the same time, dude, it's all about how you are as a human. Are you a polite human? Are you an impolite human? You know, antisocial behaviors, dude. Some people don't ever unlearn them, or they think because they've succeeded that they have social etiquette. They have social like that's appropriate to act like that. And the other night I was in there, I mean, he was still continuing to be rude to his own folks. So whatever. I'm not worried about it. join the mallet giveaway, folks. According to the YouTube community guidelines, I'm not supposed to ask you to make a comment. I wasn't told that. I read that yesterday as I was reading about giveaways. It wasn't something I got flagged for or anything like that. But it is going to be hard to keep track of which of you subscribe if you're a new subscriber. So probably the best thing you can do if you want to be noticed, make sure your subscriptions are public so I can see it. And then subscribe to the channel. That's the only requirement. We'll just draw from all subscribers. Got a little bit of like tear out, blowout type stuff going on right there. This should still be all right. Obviously, when you're chiseling and not routing, you got to be more careful because the router is going to set your depth, and it's going to, you don't have to use your intuition to test depth. The way to do that, though, if you want to test it, is put your tool here and run the tool around. Make sure that thing is sitting flat against all the sides. Nothing lasts forever. I'm going to approach from the other side. Y'all know I had this dog. Once upon a time, I had this dog. Close your ears if you're a kid. Once upon a time, I had a dog back in the day, and my dog was born with no balls. And I taught him all kind of tricks, dude. You know, fetch, stay, but I couldn't teach him to come. Like, come to me. Chill, man. Chill. Like, come here. Come here, Rover. Like that. What dog is born with no balls? John Doe. Welcome. Sorry. Got to throw a joke in there every once in a while. I've been sitting on that one for a minute. That's why when I clicked the thing in the beginning, I said this is not for kids. But obviously, it's a double entendre. It's a double entendre. Double entendre. Welcome to Dad's Workshop, where you probably won't see my face today because the camera won't move back. Just being honest. I would have to start a new live. Everything's going to have to be in here, right? I got a million other videos if you want to see my face, though. Not that you want to, but if you do, you know, like yeah, that's tough, man. Were you trying to remotely control your computer? Let's clean this edge up. Cheek is bad. Loosen up the device. Make sure you subscribe to Dad's Workshop and make your subscriptions public so that you can win one of these mallets. Tap, tap that screen and like. Tap, tap. Tippity tap, tap. Just cleaning this cheek up here. I don't know. This is a shoulder. This is a cheek, right? I remember one time I was riding up to New Jersey as a little kid, and I see the sign on the New Jersey Turnpike. It says, "Do not drive on shoulder." I said, "How the hell do you do that?" There you go. There's your second one for the day. Second time's the charm. I love Great Pyrenees. Sweet dogs. This is pretty close, guys. You know, your chisel is sharp if you're going down the grain from the side and it's not crushing, right? You shouldn't see crushing on the grain. It's even on hardwoods, you know. You should hear that sound, you know, that very pleasant scrape sound that you get when you're taking material off rather than like a crushing sound. Yeah, that's a raised dog right there. Take care, man. And sorry to hear about the pup. Oh, it's done. Ah, sweet. Good. Thank you. See, problem fixed itself. You don't have to worry about it. Nah, I don't want to take any more material out of there unless I notice that it needs to come out. Yay. Or not yay. Oh, yay. How's this side not fitting? Hold on. This shoulder is just a little bit tight here. Try something here. It's so close. That probably won't do it, but I just wanted to give it a shot. It's pretty close, man. Hold on. I don't want to take too much off here. Ooh, it's so close, it's so close. Ooh, it's almost in there. Oh, okay. You could ask Miss Heather that too. A jump cut is when you are sitting in one spot. Like what your wife is doing is she's recording a monologue. She's saying a whole bunch of stuff, like stream of consciousness, right? And she doesn't worry about it. She just riffs, and then she goes back, and whenever she makes a point that she wants to keep, and there's trash in between it, she cuts that out, so you see that it snaps. I really like them. I use them in my videos too. It's a pretty common like YouTube technique. It also, like, some people really like it. Like, it adds to the rhythm of a piece because it cuts the fat out. So a jump cut is basically cutting segments of a monologue or dialogue, um, by just removing it roughly. You're not trying to smoothen it out, add stock footage or whatever. You see the cut, like it's visible. Um, yeah, her basically her introduction video, Pilato, like where she describes her experiences and stuff like that. There's some talking in there, right? And it might need to be more. Sorry, my ADHD. But yeah, it would have been one of the when she first put the channel up, or when I first heard about the channel, and I did subscribe, and I watched the first video, was basically like an explanation of where she's at, where she's been, what she's gone through, stuff like that. The multiple organ thing, like that kind of stuff. Man, it's so close. I don't want to mess it up here by taking too much material off. No, flies are after me. Um, I'm just gonna file it a little bit more, I think, guys. Because that's gonna keep whatever I remove. It's gonna be minimal and pretty uniform. Now I don't hit the file at an angle. I'm putting the file flat against the piece, right? Once the file, that's the way they used to teach me. They would teach us the file like this, or rasp like this, right? All right, so that's very, very tight, but that is in the right spot. I will get the chisel out if it doesn't fit, though. So we're just going to chisel just the tiniest amount out of this bottom section here, very carefully. I can see the line though, so that makes sense that it doesn't exactly fit yet. All right, Pelado. Also, Miss Heather knows can explain jump cuts to you pretty well. In case I didn't do it right. It's basically just a technique of editing, is what it is. Seen all the time now, even on sitcoms that do the fake mockumentary thing. You see jump cuts in those where you see slight movements and where the person's body position is and stuff. Usually that's the only way you know it was a cut, because their head is in a slightly different spot, or something like that. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See that, dude? I could hit the camera with that right now. Bow. It's on there tight. That's what you want. Man, you make a couple of these things, it gets a little easier. Now, I do have to, I'm going to have to deepen the mortise on that side. Here's the whole mallet. See how it kind of holds together? I actually like the way that looks. Um, needs to be some material removed from the handle mortise, the handle housing. Just about 2 millimeters. Real small amount. And I don't want to take it from the handle. That'll offset the mallet. So here's this problem again. What we do, now this is not seated all the way down there because it's real tight too. Got to be seated all the way in there. And what we'll do to do that is just take the file through it a few times. That might help the seating there. That might actually close that gap up a bit. If not, I got to take the chisel and work it more. The B side, I can't see. Man, that sounds good when it goes in. Double tap that screen and like the video, please. We went through a mallet build pretty much the whole way here. All I got to do, oh yeah, that's already better. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side. We'll file it out. Now, this edge is uneven here, but we're gonna take material off of both. What I'm gonna do first though is square them up. Square them up so that they're, wow, those are touching. All I need to do is just file that other side out. We're almost done, guys. Now it's a little looser because I filed it down, but that's what we got here. Pretty nice Seems like a massive kind of a mallet. It would do some serious heavy work, but it's medium size, so really for medium sized jobs, you know, finer the mallet is, the smaller it is, kind of for the smaller stuff. Yeah, let's please don't break. It's not till it's together that it's strong, right? So oh yeah, that's the smooth side. Making mallets in the workshop. How does that look filed? Is this the filed side? How does that look? That's so even. Is this the one I just did? I'm ADH doing it, guys. You know, you don't notice that. Let's see if that does it. Man, so close. So very close. Notice the gap's been closing. Now here on the handle side, I think I need to, nope, that's good too, actually. Dude, maybe the best mallet I've built so far. Really tight. I want to take a tiny bit of material. If this is pressing out here, this gap, I want to take some material from this bottom side here. I'm going to do it carefully with the chisel here. Oh, secure your workpiece, guys. I almost stabbed myself, man. Y'all about to see me cry. That should do it. That should do it. Tap that screen twice like this. All you got to do is go, but with your finger on the screen. Here's your phone. Here's the screen. Go tap, tap. Tap, tap. I learned how to make a mallet. Tap, tap. He puts me to sleep. Tap, tap. I just like the way he talks. Dislike. I don't like this guy. I just sit in here because I don't like him. Do that too. That doesn't matter. They don't care about that. They know what you do. They know what you watch. They know who you like more than you do, man. That's why they put it in the algorithm. That's why the algorithm takes you places. Sometimes where you've never been before. Where you've never been. Double tap that screen, y'all. Come on, man. 27 people up in here. If y'all are in here and you're sitting in here, that means you're here for a reason. Double tap the screen. Tap, tap. Just like that. You can dislike too. It's all right. All right. So now we are pretty tight. I'm not going to mess with that. I'm going to leave well enough alone. What I want to do now is trim off these little excess edges, and then I'm going to glue this up. That's what I'm going to do. Well, excess edges, then trim the shape. Little tiny pencil sharpener. It's kind of special. Check it out. It's only graphite in there. See, it sharpens the graphite, so there's no wood at all. You just get a real sharp tip on the graphite. Check it out, little tiny pencil sharpener. Tiny pencil sharpener. I love you, tiny pencil sharpener. I don't want to lose you in my wood chips. I don't want to lose you amongst my wood chips. Did it zoom in again? Nah, that's just me walking towards the camera on delay. All right. Making a cut here to remove this mess. Make sure that's the right spot. Yeah, that's about right. The other option would to be to remove more material from the inside of those mortises. I don't think that's a good idea. That'll make it loose. Let's put it through the bandsaw. I love doing woodwork. I think that it is swell. La 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 la. La 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 la. Sorry, I was singing the whole time I was bandsawing. You just didn't hear me over the bandsaw. This is the very. Oh, hold on, I want this to be the same orientation. D. I love doing woodwork. I think that it is swell. La 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 la. All right, let's check that out. See if that's more lined up. Doesn't need to be perfect. That is a very satisfying sound. Let's do that again. Just listen. See how it pops in place? That right there, man. That right there. That's value. That's value, folks. Oh, y'all couldn't see me when I was doing all that snazzy stuff either. Let me do it again. So, first most satisfying sound today for me was when you put this, if I can get it out and not break it, please don't break. Man, isn't it really tight? Well, it has to come out because I got to glue it. So, wow. It is shoehorned in there low. There we go. Yeah, probably maybe a little too tight there. All right. Maybe I put the wrong side on there. Oh, no, that's right. That's the right side. I love doing woodwork. I think that it is. Well, here it is. Oh, someone unliked it? You didn't like my song? All right. So, when you do this, this is the first satisfying thing I did today. I was like, boom, put that on, and then you slide it up, and it pops in place. Oh, y'all missed the pop sound. It's when it does the little pop sound. See that? ASMR. And then the other side goes on. Look at that, man. There's nothing in that. There's no glue in there. There's no glue in there, yo. That is just excellent joinery. Excellent joinery. Hate all you want. Hate all you want. But when you make a lovely ash mallet like that, I mean, this is a nice ash mallet. Seriously. All right, so let's cut some of these angles out. But I'm gonna do this top one first here. I probably could do it with the handle on it, but I don't want to hit the handle. So let's shoehorn it back off. more angle on that side than I wanted. All right, so now we got this like this. I just figured it would be easier this way. And I'll just roughly draw this line on here because it's going to get sanded pretty heavily. The other thing you can do is curve the top of your mallet. You want to make a form though. Don't use like a cup or something because you want an ellipsis curve. I'm not going to do that on this one. Maybe if I make another mallet in the future, I'll do that. Let's go ahead. I know I'm chomping my gum. Let's cut these little, let's make sure we got a line here. I probably should put that layout line on the other side too. Nah, it'll be all right. You know, I love the way they smell. No, it's going to have to be. I don't love that line. That's all right. Keeping my hand away from the business end of that saw. All right. All right. Man, that thing, you could hit something with this without any glue on it, man. That's good woodwork right there, dude. Quality woodwork. But let's move it down a little bit on this handle. Need a mallet to build a mallet. Somebody asked what came first, the mallet or the mallet. Was that Gandara the other day? Like you need a mallet to build a mallet? But you can build mallets out of trees, like what do they call that thing that you make shingles with? There's a tool you make shingles with, and I forget what it's called. Those kind of mallets are huge. All right, so here is our ash mallet, unfinished, uncurved, nothing done to it, basically. I am going to glue this up as it is, and we're going to go from there. It's really tight, so I think this is best to just work. It's different than all my other mallets, man. See, it's a little bit wider, a little bit different than that one. So if you're in on this mallet giveaway, make sure you subscribe. Oh, this isn't the mallet that you're getting. Hold on, where's my other mallet? That's my mallet. You can ask for that one too. I'll take this one if you don't want. This one's maple and cherry. My mallet is hard maple and ash on the handle. This one is all maple here, and then some poplar dowels. And then this one is all ash, and you will have your choice if you join the mallet giveaway by subscribing and making sure your subscriptions are public. Make sure you do that so that we can do that. That's what we're gonna do. All right, let's glue this up. And as I've said many times on here, there's a bunch of rule number ones to woodworking. Rule number one, secure your workpiece. But also rule number one, you can never have too many clamps, okay? The more compression you get on those glued surface areas, the better. You actually want the cheeks glued too, so you want to put glue on the cheeks. There's going to be some squeeze out. It's going to be annoying because you kind of want to minimize squeeze out on these. There's some areas on the mount, unless you have a rotary tool, that are hard to clean. Let me get in the camera shot here so y'all can't see what's going on. So we're putting glue on all of these faces that are going to contact the other side, and then glue on the other side as well. So let me make sure I got my B side here. B, that's A. Make sure I got that. 50-50 chance right there. When I was standing and I removed some of my labeling, unfortunately. I want the cheeks and the shoulders on here with glue on them also. Glue on all those surface areas. Hold on, let me move the cam sheet out. This is important. Hold on, I accidentally turned low power mode on my phone. I just put glue on my phone. All right, so that's not gonna work. Hope the little thing doesn't cut off while I'm doing this. I'm gonna put glue in all these surface areas. Hopefully you can see me now. My gosh, this is the finish of it. I want this all to be good. Cheeks, shoulders, everything has glue on it here. And you're gonna get significant squeeze out. As you're kind of putting the clamps on, positioning the clamps on, obviously keep an eye on the alignment, but try to wipe away as much squeeze out as you can, especially on this kind of light wood like ash is light. Oh man, that fits really well, dude. That's my best mallet ever. No doubt about it. And I'm not just saying it. I want to always to get the most out of the clamp, unscrew it all the way back, then cinch it on, then screw it in. That's how you get the most pressure. Probably basic stuff. Most of y'all know all that, right? Get a little rag to wipe away the glue. I got that song in my head now. It's too late. Far too late. All right, tighten that a bit. And then I'm going to put another clamp here on the other side. While it squeeze out comes out, I'm going to be trying to wipe away what I can get my hands on. I was actually thinking about doweling this mallet, but I don't think I need to, man. I think it's going to be the piece is so tightly fit, and then it's glued up. I don't think you're going to need a dowel through it. All right, one more clamp on there. Keep an eye out for that squeeze out wherever you can kind of wipe it away, because like I said, you need a rotary tool to get those edges on after the glue dries, and you want your finish to spread out on the mallet well. I can show you what I'm talking about in a second with one of these other ones. So that's all clamped up and ready to go. Let's put that aside like a TV chef and bring out one of the finished ones. Alrighty. Here we have the mallet that I doweled. This is made out of hard maple, hard maple. Very, very difficult maple, but a perfect wood for a mallet. Let's put some stain on this. But let's first sand it a little bit. If you want to do this food safe, use a beeswax blend. You know, there's a way to do that. I'm just going ahead. We're not, you know, I don't think anybody's going to stick the mallet in their mouth, most likely. So I'm not too worried about that. Of course, if you have children, you always have to keep your children away from your stuff. Part of having kids, guys. I'm going to use this rag. It doesn't matter. Pentacryl, wood stabilizer, tongue oil, linseed oil. And let's watch the lustre. The lustre. Maybe a few little chunks on that side. We wipe those away. Oh, I didn't sand it. I should have done that to open the grain up. And with tongue oil, generally, you want to apply at least a few coats of it. Sorry, I was trying to come back here and see if I could adjust the camera so y'all can see this thing better. Let's do this though. Whenever you put tongue oil on, you want to apply some with some sandpaper because that gets the oil's thick, has a, you know, like a thick viscosity to it. So also with those dowels, I'm not super in love with how that looks. Going to be different on the dowel part because they're a different grain. And so like wherever you have glue spots on this wood, it's not going to finish. You have to get the glue off basically somehow. And to a certain extent, I'm seeing that in the middle where those dowels are. So probably would be worth it to like go sand those again. But it does. The finish is looking nice on that. This one's all maple, consistently maple throughout. The other one I stained yesterday is cherry handled. That was really because of lack of maple. I had cherry. I didn't have any more hard maple left. With tongue oil, you want to apply it until the wood rejects it, right? And then wait several days and apply it again. And then do that like 2 or 3 times until it's sunk all the way into the wood. It'll protect it from insects and water. It's also food safe, you know, unless you use a petroleum distillate, which a lot of people do. Interesting how this is staining in an uneven way. I haven't had that experience with this maple. Well, I guess I had because like my mallet kind of looks like that a little bit. It has these. It's a type of maple they use in violins, so it has some curls in it that are strange. The grain is different. Thanks to everybody who stuck around for the whole time here today. Make sure that you do subscribe. Don't waste your time here. Make sure you get an opportunity to win one of these mallets. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the way that it looks around the dowels. That was the reason I made one today because I don't want to give something to someone I wouldn't like the look of. Now, I'll totally use that mallet, no problem. But the look of it is not something I would like sell. It's functional though. It may last longer than the other ones. You never know. This might need more aggressive sanding, I think. to get a good finish. See how ratchet my oil bottle looks? Vulnerability, guys. There we go. When you work it into the grain, that's when you get that lustre. So you can see where the glue out came here. So it needs to be sanded so that glue, and sometimes that doesn't do it. Uh, you need like a angle grinder with a flat disc on it. But that's what we got on that one now. That's kind of how that baby looks. There's one. Put another coat on this one. Oh, she's telling me to. Mallet one. And then another coat on mallet two. Let me take some softer sandpaper, some like nicer, finer sandpaper. I got some down here somewhere. That's 80. That's not what I'm looking for. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Really fine stuff. That'll get you in the grain. So once you put a coat on, take some of this ultra fine stuff right here. I got the oil in the rag, so I put the oil on there, and I'm gonna work it in with this ultra fine like drywall sandpaper. Okay, that gets it in that grain, man. This is a trick somebody taught me. Helps get that second coat in there because it's gonna start rejecting the oil sooner because it's already gotten a coat. You don't want to use a lot of linted claws when you do this because the lint will get stuck in the wood grains and you'll end up with schmutz in it. the dust and lint will actually absorb your oil too. So you'll waste oil, and real tung oil is about 50 cents to $1 an ounce. Very expensive. Cherry handle on this maple head. And as I said yesterday, we're gonna brand these with the branding iron. Put my little signature and stuff on them, so it's a little personalized. Welcome so much to Dad's Workshop. So glad you stopped through to see me build these mallets for our mallet giveaway. Mallets 1 and 2. Number 3 is in the clamp right now. In the clamps, but you have those now. We have a third one, and the first member gets to pick which of those 3 mallets they want when and if their name is drawn. Here's my mallet. Notice they're very similar to my mallet, but I did learn some stuff along the way here. That's what it's all about: learning, being kind to others, all that good stuff. Not just being rude because you can, right? Some people do that. They just get tired of people. They get tired of whatever, you know. Life is really easy for some people, and they still get tired of it. Kind of doesn't matter how much you have. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I love y'all. Appreciate you for coming in. Check out my other videos. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you drop me a comment on one of the videos. Let me know who you are. But yeah, public subscription. I need that so I can tell you're subscribed, so I can enter you into the contest. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Do the next right thing. This is Dad's Workshop. My name is Calvin. I will see you next time. Have a great Thursday evening.